And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Jon McCarthy.
All right, everyone, welcome to a midweek edition of Weighing In with Josh Thompson, Podcast Dave, and me, Big John. You can catch us on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and all those other podcasting platforms. We are here for you. We hope that you enjoy what we're doing. If you do, give us that thumbs up, hit the thumbs up. If you have a friend that hasn't heard us, tell them to listen to us, make them hit the subscribe, because we are building, we are growing, and soon we are taking over the world of MMA. What's up, Josh Thompson?
I really like where you went with that.
You like that? Okay. Also, we do have t-shirts. You can go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Go /weighing in. That'll propel you right into where our shirts are at right now. 20% off if you use the code UNDERDOG, which is what Josh is normally an underdog when he's facing off against me. But that's okay because he wins a lot of them. What's happening, brother?
I can barely hear you. Pull your mic a little bit closer.
Oh,
there
man.
You
How's
go.
that? Is that deeper and better?
You got to teach the old people, old dogs, new tricks.
Well, you know, old guys, things start to
droop
sag.
a little, sag and droop a little bit. All right, well, let's get into some stuff that's going on right now. Jon Jones relinquishes his belt at light heavyweight.
Let it go.
Yeah, he let it go, but he did announce that they are under contract negotiations for him to fight at heavyweight. I really think that's probably the only way he was going to make more money. Just like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and let this title go. I can go ahead and retire, or I'd like to try my bid at heavyweight, but I want a different contract. I can see that was a smart move on his part. If that's what he wanted was more money, I think what they want to stop from what's going on is they want to stop fighters from bouncing from weight class to weight class and holding up divisions. And I think with Jon getting a little bit older, they don't really want to have him holding up two divisions. They kind of did that a little bit with DC, and I think it just kind of held things up a little bit too much. And Jon isn't DC. You know what I mean? Like DC tends to stay out of trouble and is always active to try and fight. Jon chooses sometimes not to. I got to tell you though, Jon, I don't know if
John's been doing good lately.
He's been doing great lately. He's got a new PR guy or whatever it is, but he's got it going right now. And I got to tell you, I know all the other stuff that I've said about him. It's good to see that he's making some choices that are going to better benefit his career. It seems like. I like that he decided to relinquish the title and now try to fight at heavyweight. I think he's got a great chance of being the champ there. And it's going to be hard. Honestly, it's hard for me to stamp him as being the GOAT. He has all the tools of doing that. Just because of the past. That's it. That's the only reason why. I never have doubted him as an athlete, never doubted him as a great fighter, a phenomenal fighter, but I think hopefully him going up to heavyweight will respark the old Jon Jones that we used to see, the spinning back elbows, the spinning kicks, the up elbows, the little things that were creative that made him who he was. I want to see some of that because you're going to need some of that when he fights someone like Francis Ngannou.
Oh,
yeah.
John's gonna be up there and get hit one time. He's go, what the hell was I thinking, man? Jesus. Nah, there is gonna be a difference, but John's a big guy anyways, and he's gonna do great at heavyweight. And I've said things about Jon in the past where I was tired of all the crap he's doing. He's been doing fantastic. I appreciate the fact that he's been doing things for other people in his community. That's what we're talking about. That's what champions inside and outside of the ring. That's what they do. And just stay with what you're doing, Jon, and the best of luck in the heavyweight division. I think there's some great matchups there for him. Really. I mean, if you're a heavyweight and you're looking and, be it, I'm trying to guess what the top 5 is going to be, but you got to figure Curtis Blades is in there and Francis Ngannou. Derek Lewis and Rosenstrike is right there, but none of them are going, oh, that's the guy I want to fight right now. No, Jon is a unique individual with a ton of talent, and he is difficult to fight because his fight IQ is just outstanding. You can see him break things down in the middle of the fights, change what he's doing. He is incredibly smart when he's in the cage. So that's not a guy that anyone in the heavyweight division is happy to see coming.
Why do you think he decided just like, hey, you know what? I want to just get rid of the title at 205 and see what's going on at heavyweight. What and why?
I don't know if it was all him. I think it's a matter of almost what you're saying. Any promotion looks at having a guy that's got 2 titles. It's not easy on the promotion because championship fights are easier to sell. And if you have a guy that's a multi-division champion, you can't have as many championship fights because he's fighting in one division while the other one's on hold. And then he goes to that division and the other one's on hold. So it's always tough on the promotion. So I can understand why the UFC is like, we've done that and we really don't want to do it again. We've done it a couple of times and it's great to have, but it doesn't really work for us.
Yeah.
And so I think, they, along with John had to get out of that scenario of saying, well, I'll just sit here and hold on to my light heavyweight belt and I'll go up to heavyweights and do something. And I think they were like, that's not really what we want right now. And you've got to look at your promoter and you have to work together. And I think this is them working together and John saying, you know what, let Dominic Reyes and let Jan, let them fight for the light heavyweight title. I'll go up to heavyweight. Maybe someday he'll come back down to prove that he's the best there still. But I think him going to heavyweight is going to actually rejuvenate him, energize him, make him to where he's got something that he's not the target. There's a target out there for him to shoot for. That's always a big thing.
Did they announce that it's Peter Yan, or not Peter Yan, but
what? That's an entirely different way.
Yeah, sorry. Did they announce Blachowicz? Blachowicz. Did they announce? Yeah. Did they announce that it was him and?
Yes, they have.
They did. So
they announced that fight
is going on.
They didn't say anything about title.
Yeah,
but that might be coming.
That's what I just murdered both those guys' names. Sorry. I was Dominic Reyes, right?
Dominic Reyes.
God, why am I drawing a blank right now?
He also just announced that he signed a new contract with the UFC. Do you think I was
who did?
Dominic Reyes.
That's always key. Like that's always part of, hey, we've got him locked down now, so we're okay with him fighting for the title, knowing that we have him locked down. Now it depends on the other guy. I've
got him for 6 fights. This would be the first fight on that 6. That's a good thing.
And every time he defends a title, if he does win it, extends his contract another 2 or 3 fights. I want to say
2 fights.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's good for me. I feel like, with the Jon Jones situation, I think it's good for him to go to heavyweight. It challenges him. The one thing that I think that people need to take into consideration, outside of Stipe, none of those guys have wrestling. Jon Jones can wrestle.
Curtis Blades.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even.
Curtis Blades got good wrestling.
I'm drawing a blank on these guys. What's going on, man? Get it together, Josh. Come on, buddy. You're right.
Man.
You're
late
right.
At night.
You're right. Curtis Blades has the wrestling to kind of get in there, but he doesn't have the striking of Jon Jones, and Curtis Blades doesn't have the wrestling that DC had, and DC didn't have as much success. But Curtis Blades is also a bigger body. He's a bigger body than DC. So the two of them, fighting someone who is long and lanky and can wrestle, that does play a factor. But I think Jon, you're going to see a different side of Jon at heavyweight because he's going to have to wrestle. Why take those chances against someone like Francis Ngannou or Rosenstrike or Derek Lewis, who, man, he's got dogs. I mean, like we saw what Derek Lewis got now, the most knockouts in heavyweight history, I think, after his last fight. I mean, and then he looked like he was in phenomenal shape his last fight. Didn't really look like he was getting tired. He just has no grappling whatsoever, but he's gotten better.
Dude, he's got brute strength, man.
Yeah, he just lifted up, what's his name, and threw him off of him in his last fight.
Did you see him throw? He just goes, woof,
yep,
and just tosses Alexa. The only time I ever saw another guy do that was Alistair Overeem when he was Ubereem.
Ubereem.
Okay, I mean, and he was eating a lot of horse meat.
Yeah,
a lot of horse meat.
Couple horses at a time.
He fought Brett Rogers, and I was doing that, and he took Brett Rogers, gets in a clinch, and he just goes fling, and Brett Rogers looked like a frisbee zing down across the ground. I was like, oh my God. Just incredible. But that was what Derek Lewis did in that fight. So he's strong, man.
I think the wrestling will be a factor for Jon Jones as long as he utilizes it, which I think he will. He's got the reach on majority of these guys. He's got the height. I think he will. I don't know how tall Francis Ngannou is, but I would imagine Jon's
about 6'5".
Yeah, so they're close. They're close, right?
They're close.
Yeah, because Jon's what, 6'5", 6'6"?
6'4".
6'4". Okay, so yeah, they're close in that area, and the power I think in that fight will go to Francis. I think obviously.
Oh yeah,
but that side kick to the thigh, that side kick to the body, the push kick up the gut, the toe kick to the gut, all those things are going to play a huge factor on slowing Ngannou down and making him wrestle. You know, and all the little tricks and the speed that Ngannou's fast, he's explosive as all hell, but Jon's got just the little things up his sleeves, man. I mean, I think this makes for excitement. And the reason why I think this also excites a lot of things is there's that little wrench you want to throw in there is Anthony Johnson just entered back into the USADA program. And so he's going to be perfectly put right in there at the right time when Jon is gone at the heavyweight division, which spices back up that heavyweight division. Because right now, I got to tell you, the heavyweight division is kind of, you know, I mean, like, you have the revolving guys, the top 4 guys, top 5 guys, they're there. Those are the guys. In the 205-pound division, you've got all new fresh meat that Anthony Johnson had never really faced. You know, back then it was DC, it was Gus, it was, I think BADER. You know, those guys are all, they're gone.
Glover Teixeira.
Yeah, Glover Teixeira. Those guys are gone now. You've got AJ now. You've got Santos and AJ. Oh, that would be great. You've got, Reyes. You've got Reyes and AJ. You've got Jan and AJ. I mean, you've got guys that got some power, and I'd love to see it. And then not a lot of wrestlers in there. And that's always been AJ's little bit of weaknesses. He's got wrestling, but when he gets put on bottom, he doesn't have the ability to get up off of his back as well. He does sometimes, but not against top wrestlers. Not a lot of top wrestlers in that game right now. Guys with good striking, guys that will stand with him, guys that will trade with him.
No one wants to trade with him.
Nobody wants.
No one wants to stand and trade with AJ. Shouldn't want to. But I think they don't. I don't know if they have another option. You know, they don't have the wrestling to take him down. I mean, they got a little bit of the size. Reyes does. He's got the size on him, but I don't think he's got the wrestling to take him down. You look like you have something to say. No, I kind of agree with you. Dom Reyes is a different athlete.
Yeah.
And he's the one guy that I look at and go, that's a problem for AJ. The stand-up, he's very long, similar to, Jon Jones. And, man, he's got pop. He can hit, too. And he's very elusive in sliding by shots. He never gets hit with that big, heavy shot. So that would be an incredible matchup. If you took AJ and Dominic Reyes and put them together, that would be a fight I would pay money for.
But you have to remember that they also, the one thing that AJ, not just the power, it's the speed. He's so fast. And people have talked about that, fought him like, holy shit. Like, you don't think a guy at 205 or 185 or, they could
or 170 or 185 or 205 or heavyweight.
Yeah, a guy that could be that. He's fought all of them. And the guy that could be that fast. Even when he was at 170, man, he was fast. Then he went up to 85 and he was still fast. Then he went to 205, we went to heavyweight first. Then he was fast there when he fought in the PFL. Was it World Series of Fighting at the time? He's fast there. And then he came down to 205 and settled in there and had a run and was fast there. And everyone talked about how fast he was, and not to mention with the power and the speed kills, which gets him there faster. And you saw it against Gus. He closed that distance real well. He touched Gus a couple times and the fight was done. I think he's going to be faster than Dom Reyes. And so I'm a little bit of a homer with AJ because
he's also getting older.
He is.
Okay. Just remember, Dom Reyes is young.
Yeah, but how old? What AJ is what? 34, 35?
I want to say he's 35 going on 36.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Let's go.
Dave, what is he?
I'm
You
getting
can both be wrong.
right this second. Josh's Wi-Fi, he's 36.
36. Yeah, I guess around that age. Yeah. I'm interested to see what he made because I remember him saying, like, if I come back, it'd have to be for $1 million. I'm interested to see what he's making. That's impressive. I mean, like,
I don't worry about what he's making as long as he's happy with it.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
That's
I'm sure
the whole thing.
You're
happy with it. I'm happy for you.
And the fact that Jon's out of there now, I mean, I would have always loved to have seen that fight happen, him and Jon. I would have leaned probably more towards Jon winning the fight just because of the wrestling, the length and the reach. And the trickiness of Jon with the side kick to the thigh and those type of things. but it opens everything up. It gets me a little bit more excited about that 105 pound division. I almost said 105 pound division.
Well, you're going atom weight. It's okay.
The 205 pound division, because there's such a mix of guys that we haven't seen fight yet. I think AJ beats Anthony Smith. I think he's already beaten Glover. I think AJ beats, I'd love to see him and Santos. I can't say who would win that fight because it really comes down to whoever touches whose chin first, potentially.
I all day long. I hate to say it. I like Santos, but that's a bad matchup for him.
Yeah, he just fights wild, and you just don't know what can happen in those exchanges.
He's very open in a lot of those exchanges. When you have power like AJ, it doesn't take a perfectly placed shot. It just takes a shot that lands.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you seem to be riding on Dom Reyes pretty hard.
Well, he's the one guy I agree with you. I think that AJ going back into the light heavyweight division, I always thought he was going to come back and be a heavyweight because he was so big.
Yeah,
but if he's going back into light heavyweight, I look at all the matchups and there's one guy that I look and say he matches up well with AJ. And that's Dom Reyes, and I could be wrong, but I honestly think that would be the toughest fight for him by far.
Well, we're going to see if Dom's got a chin. We're going to find that out real quick. That's what I like, I like to see that. So yeah, that flavors, I think what that does is that really just flavors up the heavyweight division because they're lacking the spark right now. DC retiring, Stipe, will potentially defend, I think, coming up next against Ngannou. That's going to lock up the heavyweight title for a little bit. That next fight, I would imagine, I think UFC said that's next for Ngannou, which is fair. Should be.
Yeah. And it's a good rematch. And then
you've got AJ. I could see them putting AJ and Derek Lewis together first to see which guy has. Yes. I can see that fight happening because AJ's not going to wrestle him. He may.
Yeah, but AJ, I thought you said AJ's going to go.
Oh, sorry, heavyweight. I was thinking. Sorry, my bad.
God, you're confusing me now.
Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see that fight though too. Obviously. Yeah.
I like the fact that Derek is going down in weight though.
Yes.
And he says, I'm not fighting again until I'm 200. He said either 255 or 250 pounds. I was like, damn. Because he used to cut a lot of weight to make 265.
Did he really?
Oh my God. He was at least 285 to 290.
Jeez, man.
He's a big dude.
That's crazy.
He's thick.
Yeah. Man. He reminds me of like just a big old teddy bear.
Oh, he's the greatest guy, man. In the back, he's sitting there and I would go in the back to talk to him, about rules and stuff. And he says, Johnny, he goes, anywhere I can get some ribs? Because goddamn, I'm hungry right now. I got no idea where there's ribs here, dude.
Were you around when Kevin Randleman, before he fought in Pride? I want to say it was the Pride in Vegas.
Yeah, I think I was around before Kevin Randleman.
No, I know, but what I'm saying when Kevin ate that whole bucket of fried chicken right before he fought.
Oh, how many times have I had eating stories with Kevin Randleman? Yeah. Come on, how about the time that he ate with the very first fight that the UFC did at the Mohegan Sun was UFC 35.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Randleman, we weren't staying at the Mohegan Sun. We were staying at a hotel that was off of the casino grounds because at the time they didn't have their hotel done. But the hotel, I think it was a Marriott that we were staying at.
The Hyatt that's right next door?
The Hyatt.
There you go.
That was
the Hyatt.
Yeah. And dude, he ate something there and he got sick, and Kevin was wanting to kill someone because he's going, you sons of bitches poisoned me. Mark Holman's trying to take care of him, man. Oh no, he was sick because he fought, I think it was Babalu on that fight card. And trust me, Kevin was not feeling well. It was a bad situation. He fought sick, and he was wanting to kill someone for poisoning him.
I hear all those. I've heard tons of those stories from Japan. Dan Henderson has a bunch of other guys. Randleman has a couple of those from Dan.
Used to tell guys, don't eat the bento box. Yep. Don't eat the sushi they bring you.
Nope.
Don't do it.
It's true. What they do is they have a big platter of all the guest fighters that are there, the ones that they pretty much want to lose, and there's a big thing of food there. And I was like, nope.
touch it.
Nope.
And it's hard because it really looks good.
Well, no, it's hard because fucking like every time I fought there,
they
have you there all day long. You go there to the venue at like 10 a.m. and you don't get done until fucking midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning there.
Yep.
Yeah, that was horrible, man. 3 times I fought there, 2 times. I got there at 10 a.m. And I was the co-main event on both fights. Fucking didn't get done fighting until like almost 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve. Horrible.
They're either going to starve you or poison you.
Yeah.
One of the
two. For what they were paying me, I didn't give a shit what they did
That's
to me.
it, man. They pay you good, though.
That's how they get you. Oh, shit. What else, buddy? What else? I know we just did a show the other day, but what else? What else is there to talk about?
You know what? Let's talk about some of the comments. First off, people, when you think that Josh and I were arguing, the best part is we had something where they thought we were arguing and that Podcast Dave edited it out. That is not true. I'm just telling you, okay? If you want to think it, that's fine. What we did is after we were done talking, I went, oh, shit, Josh, do you want to talk about the eye poke and you want to talk about maybe what could have been done differently and stuff like that? And fuck it. No, let's not forget it. Maybe we'll do it on the next show.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was what we did.
Yeah.
But if you thought we were arguing, we can argue for you right now if you want. Let's pick something.
Yeah, I know. It really just came down to like we'd already said goodbye on the show. We had cut the show, getting ready for the interview with Corey. And we were just kind of rambling on, and it was on. It was only like 10, 15 seconds, and Dave cut it out just to make sure, because we were just us shooting the shit, rambling about something, and there was no reason for it to be in there. It was literally like 10, 15 seconds of a clip. Podcast Dave is over here shaking his head like, man, I can't believe we're even talking about this right now.
That's because you put it in there, Dave.
Yeah.
People think I block their comments as well, and I don't. And YouTube actually filters comments, and then I have to go in and approve them. So sometimes I go in and I just select all and approve, and sometimes I don't, because like, you know, if you're saying some stupid shit in there, I don't want to sit and take my time to approve comments. So yeah, people think I'm blocking their comments, and then now they think I'm like cutting out good content. It's like, nah, seriously, if anything, man, I'm gonna put you guys, I'm gonna leave you guys things you guys say in there just we better yourself.
Well, we like to actually go through the comment section a little bit and have this talk and these conversations. Let's see,
with crazy people.
Yes, with crazy people. Yes.
There's also a lot of nice things.
Well, the best one was, you know, because I don't read the comments. Okay, I'm sorry, but my wife does.
Yeah,
you know, and my wife, you know, my wife goes, I don't understand. There was a hello, Mrs. McCarthy or something like that, right? And I go, what are you talking about? She goes, on the comments. I said, oh, that must be because I said, oh, I don't read the comments, but my wife does.
Yeah.
I said, so someone's saying hi. She goes, oh, okay.
Somebody needs to tell your wife that she lives on the East Coast and she's texting me at fucking 6 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning.
Oh,
hey, what's going on with this? I was like, I rolled over. I was like, it was like 5 something in the morning. I'm like,
you should be up,
texting
man.
me. I normally am, but I'm just, it was the next day, and I was like, oh.
Well, see, I think that's the other thing that people don't realize is, you know, sometimes when we do our shows, we do them right after Saturday night in the UFC show, so we can bring it out to you on Sunday. So for somewhere between 12:30 and 1:30, and then we start a show. So I'm up until like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But sometimes, based upon other things, we're going to do it early the next morning. And so it might be 7 o'clock in the morning for me, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And people are going, why are you yawning, Josh? And it's, like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning where he's at, man. That's why.
Yeah, we sometimes will get here early in the morning if we don't film the night of the fights, and we'll get here early in the morning. So it's like 4:30 in the morning. Everyone's like, oh, what, Josh, she's like, you look like you're bored. No, I'm fucking tired. It's 4 in the morning. We're filming right now. Let's do a little breakdown real quick. You know, so those of you guys that are going to end up watching later on, we had Frankie Edgar on, but let's do a breakdown real quick. He's a guest. He'll be on, but let's do a breakdown real quick of, we have BADER and Nemkov as well this weekend on Friday. You and I leave tomorrow. I think you leave tomorrow as well, huh? So
I do.
Let's talk that fight real quick.
All right. You know, for me, this fight, this is the toughest fight that BADER has had since he's been in Bellator. And I know he went through the heavyweight Grand Prix and all that stuff, and he won that, and it's all great. And he's faced, some really good fighters. And his first fight when he signed with Bellator was against Phil Davis, who is just a phenomenal fighter in my opinion, and still a great fighter. But Nemkov is a different breed as far as he's good everywhere, Josh. And he's got very good stand-up. He's got a really heavy right hand. When he hits guys with the right hand, you can see the impact that it has and that they start to do things different to try to make that not happen again. He's got really fast kicks. His wrestling is really outstanding. To understand, wrestling and MMA is not always, if you're a good wrestler, it doesn't mean you're going to be a great MMA fighter.
Yeah.
But guys from Russia just wrestle with a different technique than a lot of guys from other parts of the world, especially in the States. And his wrestling, his ability to transition from the stand-up and use his stand-up to get into wrestling, he was taking Phil Davis down. All right. Phil Davis was a national champion. And if he's in the top position, man, he is a bitch on the ground. And I've done fights with him where he has a heavy ground and pound. He pounds you. BADER, I think BADER is fighting better than by far any point in his career. He's made some changes in the way he approaches the game. He's made changes in how he goes about doing certain things. His stand-up is a little bit different. The way he comes at you and the angles that he tries to hit you from are different than what you saw when he was in the past in the UFC. His wrestling, as far as especially his ground and pound, what he does on the ground is completely different than what he was doing when he was in the UFC. And it's so effective now. You watch how he takes the arm away when a guy tries to, when he takes him down, he's controlling the far side arm so they can't post it to get up. He's taking and he's controlling the legs, not only with a leg lace. He'll take and he'll put the leg up. He'll brace his leg up and put their leg on top of it so they can't swing their bottom leg through to come into a stand-up position. And then when he decides to lay shots on you, man, he does not hit with little shots. He hits with big ones. So this is going to be a great fight. We had a production meeting today, and we were talking about it, and one of the guys said, I see it just being a fast fight either way. Either Nemkov's going to get rid of BADER fast, or BADER's going to get rid of Nemkov fast. And I'm like, no fucking way.
No,
they're both too good. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be a longer fight, but either guy can win, and that's what makes it a great fight.
I'm going to tell you what the secret is to Brian BADER.
Brian BADER. Brian Raider.
Yeah, to his success. I think his success in Bellator has come the fact that he was with Aaron Simpson and CB Dalloway and himself, and they were trying to run a 40,000 square foot gym in Arizona while he was trying to be a fighter. And I hate to. I own gyms, and you've owned a gym, and you understand. You can't do it, man. You just can't. And that was, and I don't want to make excuses, but I blame a lot of the way of some of my, and even though I felt like I had good performances, but I opened my gym 2.5 weeks before I fought Benson Henderson. I did my whole camp trying to organize and open the gym because I was trying to open it before New Year's because for tax reasons and all this other stuff. It was, I'm just telling, it was such a pain in the ass. And then trying to find someone to cover classes and run the gym while you're gone. And I was gone for, 10 days leading up to the fight because they want to get you out there early for press stuff. There was a lot of stuff going on. And Brian BADER was trying to do that while trying to fight in the UFC. I think now that he's gotten rid of that gym and then came over to Bellator, he simplified his life, and it shows in his performances. It shows that the things that he is doing is more beneficial. Now, we could say he's learned how to he's come into his own because there's less things for him to be stressed about and worried about. His focus is fighting. It makes it easier to learn when you're not trying to teach classes and trying to schedule time to hit mitts with your coach and then go run and then obviously still be a dad and a father or not a father, but a husband. You know what I mean? Those are all things that are on the plate. He's got to try to do that. I think that's all become simplified now when you don't own your own business while you're trying to be a top athlete. So I think that's a lot of why he's become so much more successful as of lately. He's got his hands full this weekend. I still think he gets it done. I think he gets it done not easily, that's for sure. I can see this fight going into the fourth round, maybe into the fifth. It really comes down to the fact is Ryan Bader's been fighting at heavyweight, and him getting back down to 205, how much will that affect him? Because I think, my personal opinion, is that he shouldn't have came back down to 205. I think he should have stayed at heavyweight, because the one thing that he's got that all those other heavyweights don't have is wrestling. Outside of Nemkov. Nemkov has great wrestling. He's big. What is he, like 6'4", 6'5"? He's a huge guy.
Yep.
He's got good kickboxing. And everyone wants to go back, if you want to look at his one loss, which was to Czech Congo, it was to Czech, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was one loss to Czech Congo. He
has one win against him, and then he lost the second one.
Yeah, but he had a staph infection that week, and he was sick. He was sick and was on antibiotics, and you could just tell because the guy never gets tired. In that fight, though, he just had no wind. He couldn't go. Yep. And we knew, but all of us knew, it just wasn't his night. He couldn't, and it was a close fight. Still, it was a close fight. So, and you've got the other guy, Madofsky. He's heavyweight, correct? Yep. Yeah. So you got him there. He's fighting Roy Nelson this weekend. So you've got guys in there. He's got his hands full. But you got guys in there. Moldavsky can wrestle. Nemkov can wrestle. Those guys.
Moldavsky's fast.
He is fast. He's about the same size as Bader. Like a little bit smaller, I think, but like physically, not physically, but the body style looks similar. Yeah. The body style looks similar. The two of them together, I think, would be a great fight. That fight interests me a lot. The Nemkov one, he's going to have a hard time with just because of the size and the wrestling ability. But I don't think he should have gone. I don't think he should go back down to 205. But now that he's down here, he's going to have to fight one or two fights, because the last thing you want to do at heavyweight is keep jumping back and forth, 240, 245, 238, whatever he is, down to 205. Keep doing that. It's going to wreck his body and shorten his career. This fight's fun, though. This fight is going to be a fun fight. Now with the addition of Corey Anderson, mixed in with Phil Davis, and then Machida, there's those fights that make sense now. That division starting to kind of excite me again. It's like I was talking about the UFC with Anthony Johnson coming in and then Jon Jones leaving. It brings a little excitement, like flair to it. Oh shit, we have a new title that's basically on the line, and we've got AJ coming back with knockout power. You've got all these little tidbits that are working out, and I think the addition of Corey Anderson makes it fun again. He comes in, Bader's there, and now you've got Machida and Phil Davis, and I'm already playing matchmaker in my head on how I want it to all work out, because you got to think Machida's already got a win over Ryan Bader. If Machida wins, then he fights probably Ryan Bader. If Ryan Bader wins against Nemkov, but if Phil Davis wins, then you have him fight Corey Anderson next. If Corey wins, then that makes sense as well, because you don't want to see Bader and Phil fight it for a third time. The first two fights were a little rough. It was, so, yeah. But you understand what I'm saying? Like there's excitement now. There's a little bit of a tweak here and there. And the other thing as well is Mousasi is mentioned, and he's also fought at 205 before, but he's mentioned like, hey, if 3 fights Lima, that there's a chance he may go up to 205 as well, the challenge for the title there. That brings more excitement to me. So there's a lot of good things I think happening in that weight class, and Bader being able to go up and down in both. I would like to see him stay potentially at a heavyweight. If he does lose the title, I think he'll have great success at the heavyweight division.
I always looked at it the same way. I thought, you know what, just stay at heavyweight. But the one thing I will say about Ryan is he did not do the giant yo-yo as far as his weight going way up. He normally walked around at about 230 pounds. Mm. He was coming in at 227, 232. He was right there. So he didn't do this giant, gain of weight that was just excess. He basically just maintained what he was. He just didn't have to go through that weight cut to get down to the 205. So the weight cut is going to have when you don't have to do that for a while, and it's been over a year, since he's had to do a weight cut, almost 2. That weight cut it might have more of an effect. I always look at Nemkov as a guy that's a very fast twitch, muscle fiber fighter, and he ends up at times starting to tail off. He gets tired. And Bader was that guy that always could push, and he had that good gas tank for a bigger guy. But since he's going to be doing a weight cut now, Is that going to have an effect on his cardio? Is his endurance going to be a little bit lower based upon he had to go through that weight cut and get himself down before fighting?
Yeah, that makes for it really makes for a good exchange on what's going to happen on Friday night, and I'm excited. Is there any other fights on that card you're excited for?
Yeah, I really am, man. I just don't get it. We have a preliminary fight with Yaroslav Amosov, who I think is just a phenomenal fighter.
23-0.
Kid, 23-0 right now. The only guy that's got a better record in MMA is this guy. I don't know what, somewhere from Dagestan, something like that.
He's good.
Nurmagomedov or something like that. He's pretty good, 28-0. But Amosov, he's the real deal. In a fight, it was a main event fight for Bellator. He took Ed Ruth down with some beautiful takedowns. And you're talking about a 3-time NC2A champion in Ed Ruth. This guy can do it all. He's got stand up. He's got a great grappling game. His wrestling's good. His submissions are good. He's the full package. He's going against a guy who is new to Bellator as far as he's only had one fight, and that was pretty recent, Mark Leminger. And he had a beautiful fight against Jake Smith, just dominated the fight. He's got very good wrestling. He's got heavy hands. It's going to be a great fight. I got a 23-0 fighter against I think he's 12-1 now fighter. And it's a preliminary fight. That's killing me.
Yeah, but Leminger also he's already in shape. He didn't really take a whole lot of damage in his fight 3 weeks ago when he fought on that card. He got rocked right off the bat in a big exchange, but then he worked his way through it. I was very impressed with that. He showed his grit through that, and he was able to mount his offense, and he just started systematically just picking his opponent apart and was able to just get the dominant position, just started landing some good shots. I mean, realistically, like the fight could
heavy shots.
Yeah, heavy shots. And so he's going to have a hard time doing that to Amosov, but it's going to be, I like watching Amosov fight, and I am shocked that he is the main event on the prelims. I mean, it does shock me, to be honest, but there's another fight I'm on there is Sidney Outlaw and Adam Piccolati.
That's a good one.
You've got Sidney Outlaw, who's a powerhouse, somebody who's got good wrestling. Adam Piccolati is someone who scrambles really well. He's got great jiu-jitsu.
Both black belts in jiu-jitsu, one from Renzo Gracie.
Yeah, and so and Adam was with Raul Castillo here in Half Moon Bay. And, I trained him and trained with him for years. Absolutely a phenomenal person and an athlete as well. So Adam, I think, has the advantage because he's got a little bit better, I think, on the feet. But I think he's also a better jiu-jitsu guy. But I think he lacks he still has wrestling, but it's not. I don't think it's Outlaw's level of wrestling. I think Sidney's a little bit better wrestler. I want to see how this all plays out because Adam is somebody that he scrambles and can scramble. He puts himself in weird positions when you think you've got him and you don't. And that's the one thing I think with Sidney Outlaw. He likes to control the position, hold you there, and try and do damage from that one position. In the exchanges, there was a fight I was just watching of him fighting against Roger Huerta, and Roger was able to get up on him. And if Roger was able to get up on him, Adam Piccolati is going to be able to get up on him, or at least Adam's going to be able to cause a scramble to get to the top position. So that kind of makes it interesting because in those transitions, Adam is really good at catching the submission. So that fight to me, like we were talking about in the production meeting today, I was like, man, I feel like it's going to be two little ferrets fucking just going at it on the ground, just intertwined with each other. It's going to be a fun fight to watch. And that's another prelim fight. And we can go on. There's a couple other good fights that are on the card as well on the prelims. But yeah, Roy Nelson fighting Madofsky. That's another good fight.
That's a tough fight for Roy, man, because Moldavsky's fast. Roy is tough as hell, man, durable. He's got that huge right hand that he can put anybody out with at any time. But, man, when you got that guy that it's hard to touch him, and Moldavsky's going to be hard for Roy to touch, Roy needs to utilize some of that grappling experience he has to kind of slow Moldavsky down.
Yeah, you got to think, though, in terms of he needs to get this win, though, too, because he's lost a couple in a row now. It's not – he
has 3 or 4.
Yeah, I want to say 3. Is it 3? Yeah, I mean, so I think it's 3 in a row. If he loses this one, I mean, you got to be thinking, is he going to be around? That's the only thing. Like, you start thinking those type of things. Same thing with Matt Mitrione just lost another one. Is he going to still be around? There's a lot of guys that are kind of I think on the cusp of, okay, look, we've given it a run. It's not there anymore, maybe, and see what happens. We'll see. But if you guys get a chance this Friday night, Bellator, the card's going to be great. Check out the prelims as well. The prelims are going to be phenomenal. So there's that young kid from Machida's camp, Weber Almeida.
Weber Almeida.
Just scrappy.
Yeah.
He's got that same style of stand-up and just explosive and just keeps going. And it throws everything with power with bad intentions. So that should be another exciting fight. He's fighting one of our guys from AKA, Salim. I'd like to say Salim's last name, but I don't want to.
Mukadinov.
I don't want to murder it. So
come on, it's Mukadinov.
So
he's good.
So he is good. He is really good. So
really good stand-up game, and his ground game has really come a long ways.
Yeah, his grappling's got a lot better.
He's well-rounded. Didn't he start off with Swick?
Yeah, so he was over in Thailand with Mike Swick, and then he came over and started training with us and decided to stay. And then he got really close with a lot of the Dagestani Russians that came over, with Khabib and Islam and all those guys. And so they started communicating like this where they were going to be. And that's how it all happened, man. Salim's got a lot better on the ground because before when he came, he was just all stand-up. I want to see how he handles Almeida's stand-up, how he handles that type of stand-up, though. It's one thing to fight another kickboxer that's just straight up Muay Thai or straight kickboxer, but to fight someone that has that karate style, it's different. You're gonna have to figure out ways to handle that, and I'm interested to see how he does it.
Yeah,
should be a good fight.
Weber looks like a miniature Machida, because he fights from the same karate stance, does the same types of moves and stuff. So it's gonna be a good fight. It'll be fun, but he's cusp of being special.
Yeah,
he's that good.
Yeah,
I actually thought he won his last fight.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't win it on a decision. In my mind, he definitely won the fight, but
that goes to me. That goes down in one of the worst decisions I've seen.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some that like everyone's like shaking their, but this was one of those undercard fights that didn't get as much notoriety because it was like, oh, okay, it happened. But had that been on a main card, like on the actual televised portion, everyone would have been fucking up in arms. Like, what fucking fight were you watching? I mean, to me, it was one of the, I'm not being biased. I mean, you just said you thought he won also, but I thought it was probably one of the more like, ooh, that was just a bad decision. When you and I talked about who was the one with Taiwan Claxton when he just lost, I went back and watched it and I was like, I can see it now. I still thought Taiwan won, but I could see like, okay, I can see how you guys gave it to him. But I went back and watched Salim fight and I was like, I actually think it was actually even worse. I was like, this is horrible. So
I was commentating on that one and I was like, man, I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not the judge.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the YouTube section, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Please share our platforms on the audio as well. Please hit the subscribe buttons there as well. We're trying to get our audio numbers up. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Hit prowrestlingtees.com/weighing in. That will take you to our t-shirts. Select t-shirt you guys liked. Also, John and I are doing a competition. The competition is if you buy red, that favors me, correct?
No, man, you're already trying to cheat. What the hell is that?
That favors me. I'm working against myself here. Oh, damn. We're trying. So we have red and blue corners. John is in the red section. I'm in the blue. If you pick blue, guess what? That supports me. I think the blue glove behind you threw me off. Okay. That's what it was. But yeah, so, and basically we're going to pick a name out of that. Whoever wins the contest, if John sells more shirts, then we'll pick a name out of one of his people that bought his, because we get your guys' emails when you guys pick up a t-shirt. So we will email you directly and we will figure out what your address is and we'll send you off a signed shirt. We appreciate you guys so much. Also, we had Frankie Edgar on, as I mentioned earlier, and we're going to shift that over to him and do the interview with him. Hope you guys enjoy. He's fighting this weekend against Pedro Munhoz. So you guys make sure you guys check that out. And I wish my boy a lot of luck because he's one of my closest friends in the sport. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. John?
He is going to need luck. He's got a tough opponent, but he's always got this thing going for him. It's the answer. I gotta love it. Love that. I love that nickname. It's one of the best. Frankie the Answer Edgar. Good luck, Frankie.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the interview.
Well, right now on Weighing In, we are lucky enough to have one of the greatest MMA fighters that has ever stepped in a cage, a guy that has been pure class the entire time. He has been the lightweight champion in the UFC. He has been a solid featherweight contender. This is a guy that everyone knows, and he always has the answer. Our man, Frankie Edgar. What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. Chugging away, trying to blow this podcast up, man. Hey, I saw that you and some buddies started one for yourself as well.
Yeah, me and Roger Matthews. He's from the Jersey Shore fame. He's actually JWoww's ex-husband at this point. But
that is not a good thing to be known as. You are JWoww's ex-husband.
Yeah, name to fame, So he made his he made his merits on the Jersey Shore boardwalk. So
and what's the name of it?
Champ and the Tramp.
Champ and the Tramp. I love it.
Tramp. I like the
I love
the name.
it, dude. I love it. And then you guys are on YouTube, and then what other platforms?
Yeah, YouTube, pretty much, Apple, Spotify, everywhere you can get podcasts.
Nice.
We kind of just talk shit, man. We don't cover fights that much. We definitely do cover it. He's not the smartest guy in the world, so we have fun with it.
I can see the way you're talking right now that it's a fun show. It's a fun show.
We keep it light. We touch a lot of topics, but we have fun.
Frankie, I try to say the same thing about my partner all the time. Not the brightest fucking bulb in the box, but we have fun.
I have a reason though for not being bright. CTE, bro. But John, he's just
okay.
old. Like brain cells just don't work
see?
anymore.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, hey, let's dive right into this. Well, I don't want to keep you too long because I know it's fight week for you, and I always appreciate. I know you always prioritize putting us on this, and I appreciate you for that, man. I do. 135. How was camp? How was the weight cut? I mean, I know you're not quite there yet, but how was it getting your weight down, or was it always kind of in that area? For this camp.
When I decided to go 35, I kind of changed my mindset a little bit, made sure I didn't really get over 160, and then as I got closer to the fight, 155, and then UFCPI, Clint from UFCPI has been really helping me out, and honestly, it's much easier than I thought it was going to be. As of right now, I know I haven't got down to the nitty gritty quite yet. Those last few pounds could always be troublesome at times, but so far I feel great. My energy levels are amazing. My cardio has been through the roof, believe it or not. I test that to just putting good stuff in my body. When I was 55 especially, and even 45, I could eat pizza on the weekends and maybe have a beer here or there. I was forced to put nothing but clean food in me, and I really do feel a difference.
Dude, 155 is sounding really good right now if you're asking me. Pizza and beer? Come on, baby.
Yeah. So what outside of the eating clean and stuff like that, how has your training regimen changed? I mean, because when you're starting to get weight down, the energy level is not always there. So what kind of changes have you made throughout for your camp to make sure your energy level stayed up, or for you to get through your fight camp?
They really have been. My weight came down pretty good. Mark, my coach, Mark Henry, was kind of surprised that my energy levels might have been even better this camp. I just had to do a little extra every day to make sure I burn enough calories every day and get the fat off and whatnot. But it's been great. Again, I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse. I still got to get down to that 36-pound mark. And, I haven't been down to 35 since I was a senior in high school, which was 20 years ago. So, I know it's going to be tough towards the end.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You were always known as a guy that, people would talk about. You were crazy in the gym. You were training constantly. What are you doing differently now that you are older and you've had some mileage on the body and you don't want to get those injuries in the training? What are you doing differently?
I think you just over time with experience and knowing what works and what doesn't. I guess I cut the fat, stable quality stuff. I used to spar 3 times a week. I brought that down to 2 times a week. That's definitely helped me out a lot. And, just if I need a day to go light, I'll go light. I used to try to go hard every day, and you just can't do that, especially when you're putting 2 practices in a day. You got to pull back every now and then and let your body recover.
Yeah, I went out to train with you a couple times, and I wasn't in the best of shape when I got there, and it was
it was hell.
Frankie takes me to go run hill sprints. I'm like, I got this, man. I got this. This fucking guy can run, and normally it's me running. I was like, man, throwing up mid stride.
Yeah, but he's talking junk, but he was pushing me, man. I tell you what, he was definitely, and I think he was probably having a couple of drinks the night before.
I was.
Oh, not Josh.
No, not me, not me. But it was, it was one of those things. I was like, man, I can't let this guy beat me right now. Even though he was getting ready for a fight, I was like, yeah. But we had a great time. like Jon was saying, I know that the training changes. Are you doing like a full day off in the middle of the week? Because like for me, as I got older, I took Wednesdays off, just kind of like an active recovery, maybe like a little bit of stretching, maybe kind of rode the bike at an easy pace, whatever it was on a Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday hard again, Saturday morning hard, and then the rest of Saturday, Sunday off. I kind of changed my regimen as I went throughout there. You were crazy when I went to go train with you there. You had your regimen going. We'd run in the morning and then you would spar, work out right after that a little bit. Then like we'd do something later in the day. Then you would go do like a TRX training session or strength conditioning. And then like you'd come back later in the evening. I'm like, damn, dude, like this is a lot. This is a lot. I want to know, have you changed it a little bit since then?
You know, well, on the days I do strength and conditioning, I changed my strength and conditioning guy. He's more scientific, more, you know, using, little bit more knowledge and more of a strategic approach, you know, not just kind of just going in there and pushing to the limit, you know, and that definitely helped me stay injury free. You know, you got to try, you know, there's always ways to get better. You got to try to nitpick and find the best way that works for you.
Let's talk about your opponent in your upcoming fight. You know, you're moving to the 135-pound bantamweight division, but because of what you bring and the name that you bring, you don't get that gift of maybe getting the easier fight just to get you acclimated. You're going right in, and Pedro Munhoz is a stud. This guy has never been stopped in a fight, never been submitted. Never. The only way he's ever lost a fight is by decision, and 2 of those were by split. So this guy's got it all, and he's got power. He knocked Cody Garbrandt out. What have you done, and what are you seeing out of Pedro that you look and say, here's where I think, you know, he's strong, and this is where I think I can take advantage?
Don't tell him your game plan, man. Screw that guy. Don't tell him your game plan. Screw that guy.
Pedro doesn't listen. Pedro doesn't listen.
Yeah, no, I'm you know, I'm pretty. I keep it well rounded myself. I feel like I'm a well rounded fighter. You know, I really don't have any weak areas. I know he has very powerful. You know, he throws bolos on his feet. He's got a great chin. And he's very savvy on the ground, especially on top with his guillotines and chokes. So, you know, those are things I have to definitely be careful for. But, you know, I go there. I think I can mix it up anywhere. You know, I could wrestle with this guy. I could you know, roll on the ground with him, and I could strike with him. You know, I'm not a guy that's going to sit there and try to knock anybody out, really. I've never been that kind of guy. So, you know, I may hit him with a shot, and I'm not going to go for gusto and try to put him away and, you know, possibly hit one of his big shots.
Yeah. So let's, all things considered, we plan on you having the win, you know, coming up. What do you see after that? Have you talked to the UFC about like, hey, look, you know, I am getting a little bit older. I want to kind of be fast tracked. Give me.
You don't have to listen to that crap.
Yeah,
Frankie, you don't have to listen. Just because he's old, you don't have to worry about it. You still got a lot left in the tank.
Yeah.
We know, so don't worry about that.
Well, what you don't know is Frankie and I talked, and we talked about, you know, it's another run for you. This is your plan is have a good run at the 135-pound title. Have you talked to them about potentially like, hey, is it this fight and then maybe one more and then a title shot? Or is it like, if I look good and dominant here, I'm getting right into that number 1 position? Has there been any talk about like that?
You know, not really, man. I just want to go in there. You know, I know I need a win. You know, winner has a way of taking care of everything.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh God, who says that all the time? Oh, it's Josh.
I told you, every once in a while we talk. No.
So as long as I go take care of my job, and then you know, I'm willing to mix it up, man. I feel like I have a little bit left in the tank, and you know, I'm willing to go in there and work my way to what I have to do. But you know, being that, you know, the name recognition I have, what I've done in my career, I know I'm always knocking on the door at a title shot. So, you know, sometimes if that opportunity comes up, I'm definitely game.
Well, you saw in the last fight, Peter Yan beat Jose Aldo to win that bantamweight title. And Jose's a guy that you had several fights with. What do you see in Peter Yan as a fighter?
He's tough, man. He's got some very, very good boxing, crisp boxing, great takedown defense. He's got a great engine. You know, he's top notch. Really can't say anything bad about him. So, you know, he's gonna have some good fights too. For him, you know, I don't know who he's gonna fight next. I don't think they said who his first defense is gonna be. So, I know Aljamain's up there, and, you know, a couple other guys. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
What differences have you noticed though throughout your camp, getting your weight down? What differences have you noticed in your performances in the gyms?
You know, I honestly, it's kind of crazy to say. You know, you think my energy levels wouldn't be there, but I feel like they're better. You know, and again, I test that to just putting good stuff in my body, and it just comes with experience too. And I don't know if it's for having less weight on me, and that's why I feel a little bit better. A lot of times when I was at 55, I was trying to bulk weight on because I was, pretty much walking around at that weight. Yeah. And even at 45, as the years went on, guys got bigger and bigger. So I was always trying to put extra weight on, and maybe that slowed me down sometimes in the gym. Whereas this camp, I was able to, get nice and lean. I'm probably the most ripped I've ever been in my life, at 38 years old. So, I guess that's the plus.
So mama's happy.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. That's all that matters.
She's like, hey, baby, come over here. Hey, baby, come over here.
Damn, you look good.
That's great, man.
I'm taking as pictures as I can right now. You know that.
One of the things that we always talk about, though, is speed kills in fighting. And as a 155-pounder, you were so fast compared to a lot of guys. Your speed killed guys. And then 145, there was other guys that were fast, too. You were still fast. Do you think that your speed has maintained now dropping down into that bantamweight?
I mean, I do, especially with Pedro. I don't know if he's the quickest guy out there. He obviously throws very heavy hands, but in the gym, I feel fast. I don't know if I'm faster because I'm a little bit lighter. I definitely feel faster on my feet. Hands, I don't know if hands get faster as you get lighter, but we're gonna see on Saturday. So this is gonna be the fight's gonna tell us a lot.
So have you ever fought in front of no crowd?
No. I mean, I fought, maybe in the street in front of a couple buddies and stuff like that. But,
that's a crowd right there.
To me, it'll be like the gym. It'll be like fighting in the gym. At Nick Catone's, we have a cage. We have coaches coaching me and coaches coaching the other guy, and that's what I assume it's going to be like.
Well, I guess the next question would be so are you like a gym hero, like someone who does really well in the gym then? Because that's the way it feels. Do you feel like your performances in the gym usually lead into what your performances be at the night of the fight?
I feel like I'm a competitive dude, and whether there's a crowd or not, I want to compete. I want to win. Even if I'm going against my training partner or not, I know that I want to impress my coaches. My coaches are there. I want to impress them. So I know they're going to be in the corner, and I'm still going to want to impress them. Well,
you guys should know I trained with you for a couple of your fight camps, and let me just tell you, you're fucking savage in the gym. So I'm not too worried about you fighting in front of no crowds. I'm excited for this fight, but there was another thing I want to talk to you about is that Corey Anderson had just signed with Bellator, said some really good things about you, Eddie Alvarez, and a lot of guys out of your guys' camp there. Seems like a great guy. I'm looking forward to calling his fights. Can you tell me a little bit about him? Like that somebody may not know. Give me some insight on him as a person, an individual, and somebody that Bellator is looking to pump.
Corey is a phenomenal grab. Just such a solid person. He's such a great teammate and one of the hardest workers I've ever come across. And we've been around a lot of guys. Yeah. And he works tirelessly. Someone's watching, nobody's watching. When he first came in, we seen his in the Ultimate Fighter show. We seen the potential he had, and he's honestly even overreached that potential. This kid has a never say die attitude. I have a story about him. I've told a couple times. I'll share with you. I was coming home from a wrestling tournament with both my boys. This is way back, few years back, and we're at my father-in-law's house. Corey was living there at the time, and we were at like a family dinner, and Corey sees my kids. Hey boys, how'd you make out in your wrestling? My one kid's like, I took the second. My other kid didn't win a match. He's like, how about you? Did you go 1-1, 2-2? I was like, we didn't win a match, Corey. He's like, it's all right, man. He's like, I started wrestling your age. I didn't win a match till I was in 10th grade. My son was in 3rd grade at the time. And I'm like, wait a minute. I said, wait, Corey, you didn't win a match from 10 years old to 15? He said, no. And that just showed me what type of resiliency and persistence this guy has. So, him being where he's at does not surprise me at all.
Holy Christ, he's a way better man than me. I won my first wrestling match ever and then lost every match for the rest of the year. It was horrible.
I can see that about John, though. I can see that.
Oh, dude. Horrible.
So look, we've got Ryan Bader, we've got Nemkov, and we've got Machida, we've got Phil Davis in their weight class there. I mean, stylistically, like without saying that he'd smash all of them because you're a little biased, I get it. But talk to us about how you think he matches up well with those guys.
Yeah, I think he matches up great. With all those guys, he has a phenomenal wrestling. His output is second to none. I promise you, he probably has the highest output of anybody in that division. He does not get tired, this kid. And, he just keeps getting better, too. And I know his last fight was a loss. Got hit with a big shot, against a guy that he pretty much dominated in the first fight. And that stuff could happen, especially with the big boys. So, don't take that for granted because he's the real deal, Corey.
What do you think? Corey, at the age of 30, he's still a young guy.
Yeah.
And the fact he was ranked 4th in the UFC and they let him go, did that seem odd to you?
It does seem odd, and I know Ali has some good ties with everybody, so I think it worked out.
That's what Josh talked about.
It worked out great for Corey. So however it happened, it's a good thing for Corey, and I'm happy for him because he deserves all the he deserves all the success, that guy.
Yeah, you brought up Ali, and I like to tell the story about the very first time I met him. And I think it was you and I were driving to New York, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Annoying the shit out of me. But honestly, because I've seen him so much lately, and he's grown on me. You introduced me to him, and I was like, man, he must be a good guy somewhere in there from all the shit talking we had done in the car on the way back from New York. I was like, man, he must be, if he's hanging out with Frankie, he must be a good guy. Give the guy a chance. And then he grew on me, man. I've seen him a lot in AKA, and trained with him a bunch of times. And can you talk to us about a little bit more that relationship with him and how it's grown? Because back then you were pretty much the only one he was kind of working with and helping. And then now he's got one, I would say probably right now, the best MMA management on the market.
Yeah, I was pretty much Ali's first guy. Me and Henzo were Ali's first clients, and Ali. The reason I went with Ali early on is because he was the most loyal, trustworthy person in this game. As far I had 3 managers before that, and that's not always the case, as you know.
Yeah.
And he really cares about his guys. You see, he's in the media. He takes things personal. If a media person or a fighter comes at his guys, he takes it personal, because he really does care about his guys. He wants the best for them. He fights tooth and nail for his guy. And, he has the best stable right now in the game. So, all the success that he has is because of how much he cares and how hard he works for his guys.
Did you hit him up for a percentage of that company since you helped start it with him? I'm just throwing it out there.
Not only helped set it up, he brought all the fighters to him in the beginning.
Well, yeah, but I'm probably going to be part of this whole Dominance MMA when it's all said and done, and that's something I could definitely see myself in that position soon.
I love.
Could you see yourself as a manager?
I think I could. I think I have a unique position compared to other managers because I could. I know the game better than anybody as far as being a fighter, and I have pretty good relationships with people, and I like to, and I'm a very honest person too. I like Ali too, so I really think I could help guys and make them realize their dreams. So that's something I'll definitely look forward to for the future.
Is there any guys that you guys have on your roster, or anyone that you have in your gym, or someone that we should all be looking out for that's not signed by Bellator or UFC, but you're like, hey man, this kid's got it. Right now we're just trying to get him on track, someone that maybe has a bright future?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 kids actually right now. They're fighting on the CFFC, Cage Fury Fighting Championships. Santo Curatolo, the 25er. He's got 5 fights with 5 first-round finishes. Wow. Got a lot of power in his hands. Staten Island boy, very marketable. And Paul Capaldo, Jersey guy. He's 5-0 as well. Very athletic, very marketable too. Got chiseled, look like a Greek statue. So 2 guys that I think you'll see on the scene, in the very near future.
Good deal, man.
So last thing from me, how much longer do you honestly think do you have it set in your mind? This is my time period. This is what I'm looking at now as the rest of my career.
John, leave him alone.
Have you thought about
leave him
that?
alone,
have
John.
You thought about it? Josh never thought about it, and that's why he's in the position that he's in now. I know that you're a guy that plans.
What a guy.
You always have to plan for the future, and but you don't want to plan for the future too much because then you kind of lose the present, and I always give myself 3 rules: as long as my body holds up, as long as I am enjoying what I'm doing, and as long as I'm competitive. If one of those 3 don't pan out, that's probably when I'll call it. But 40 is always a marker for me. I am 38. I'll be 39 in October. So I know the end is imminent. I know that. But as long as if I can still string some years together, if I'm like I said, all those 3 things match up, we'll see what happens.
Do you really like getting up and running still? Do you still like it? Because
I mean, so I don't know if I ever liked that part of it,
Yeah.
but I do enjoy working out for a living. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that bad, I mean, I was a plumber for a while. I actually told my third fight in the UFC, I was a plumber, getting up really early, working in the elements.
Plumbing sucks.
Worse than
And it stinks.
yeah, exactly.
literally, it could be a shit job, huh?
Oh, exactly. I did it.
Oh man. All right. Well, hey man, I'm gonna let you run. I know it's fight week. I want to see you get some rest. And hey man, I just appreciate you coming on. And you've always kind of helped put me first, and I appreciate you, man. Always.
I always love, man. I never forget what you did for me. I mean, Josh opened his house for me early on in my career, about 13 years ago. And then I think about it. So it's always respect. And John, you too. I remember talking to you early in my career as well. You gave me some great advice. So pleasure's mine, guys.
Hey, I'm excited, man, to see where your management company ends up going, buddy. I'm excited. Hey,
Good
brother.
luck this week, Frankie. We're looking forward to the fight, man. Rooting for you. Go out there and do what you do, brother.
Guys, thanks so much. Great talking to you.
Good luck, brother. Bye.
So we want to thank you guys for watching. That is it for us this week on Weighing In. Thank you for being there as subscribers, as supporters, and we will see you guys soon. Later.